And my neighbours are a long way away, so I'm not worried about keeping up with the Joneses. Let them keep up with me. If they are living in a place as nice as this, well, good luck to them. I'm enjoying my life, and I'm not running after any money now. I'm out of the rat race. I don't have any nest egg, and there's no money on Coney Island. Any treasure that there was taken away many years ago. I suppose the truth of it is, I don't want money. I had money, I don't want it anymore. It means nothing to me other than you don't have a red face when you come to the checkout. You're able to pay for your groceries.
When I first came over, I had a lot of boxes stored in my daughter's basement. Maybe a dozen boxes and 2 cedar chests. And having to divest myself of that stuff, not only is there a freedom about doing that, but you learn what you can part with. It forces you to simplify your life, and I think that what's happened here is my life is much more orderly and much simpler.
She's a casual, very easygoing lady, very friendly and very witty, and good crack to be along with, and she adds a sparkle to the community that we have here, and it's nice to have her.
I spent a Christmas alone here, thinking that would be fine. It wasn't fine, you know. I won't try that again. So you just have to deal with the loneliness, I think, as best you can. Sometimes easier than others. And on a gorgeous day like this, it's not a problem. In the middle of winter, in the rain, in the cold, and the gale force winds, in the caravan, you can ask yourself a lot of questions.
Oh well, best things. I've been to the deserts, I've been to the rainforests, I've been to the tropics, I've been to the Himalayas, seen some big mountains, seen some big forests, wild places. Donegal would be my idea of all of these places tied into one. This is a Sally rod. Sally is the Gaelic for willow. I use them, Kathleen uses them to make baskets.
Brendan Farron decided at a relatively young age the rat race wasn't for him. Raised in Newton Ards in County Down, he was travelling down a road that had been mapped out for him.
I was more or less groomed by my teachers and my parents to follow an engineering path, which I did. I went to Manchester and studied civil engineering for 3 years in Manchester University, where I obtained my Bachelor of Science degree. And the path was set then for me to follow this course. And I worked as an engineer in London for a couple of years. I was sitting in this office in King's Cross in London, looking out in the St Pancras, King's Cross, confusion of traffic, noise, pollution, grey buildings, grey work, really. I reached the point where I thought, this can't be my life. This is a piece of elm. I love working with it because it's, as you can see, the grain is so beautiful. Something that could never be produced by man. Nature at its most beautiful, unpredictable.
Leaving the promise of a profession and security, he travelled the world, but returned with questions unanswered.
I was probably even more confused when I come home, because having seen how people, especially in Asia, where there's less prosperity, less development, people with literally nothing, how they can be so happy, living their simple lives. I was probably even more confused because here we were in the Western world with all these choices and none of them seemed to appeal to me.
Brendan travelled again, earning a crust with his rediscovered artistic talent, until he found himself in Spain.
I suppose I was 27, 28 at this stage, and I felt homesick for the first time in 10, 11 years. I felt like I needed to be with my own people, with my family, friends, and with people who I fitted in with, I suppose. I felt an urge to set roots a little bit, so I moved back to Ireland.
Brendan began his Donegal life in primitive conditions, living in a very basic caravan. Painting brought in just enough money to keep the wolf from the door.
I was on my own in a Gaelic-speaking area of Donegal, without friends, prospects, electricity, running water. The challenge of this excited me as well as petrified me.
Waiting for the bus to go into Belfast, catch up with a couple of friends, stay for a couple of days. I don't think that when you're first coming you really know what you're going to do, so you put up a lot of safeguards. You say, no, this is just an experiment and I'm going to try this, and it was going to be a year and I could get together that few thousand and then come back if I didn't like it, or maybe come back in the middle of it. Probably the inside of me knew that there was no way that I wanted it not to work. Got a wide variety of reactions. A good share of them was, is she crazy? Is she crazy? So it wasn't all necessarily positive, but you sure learned how to count your friends, you know, the ones who were willing to be there when you really needed them to have some faith in you and say, have a go.
Kate visits Belfast every few weeks to keep in touch with friends like John and Josie McNichol and their son Damien.
Thank you very much. Oh, nice to see you, Josie.
Looking great.
The world traveler.
He's there.
Here by any
You
chance?
not recognise him?
Oh my God.
What do you think of the hair?
Holy
Spanish yours.
Whenever you look at Kate compared to some other people of her age and her generation, Kate has tremendous enthusiasm and ability for things, which is really, really good, because a lot of people, whether young or old, especially old, are really frightened of making a change. The change might be the best thing in their life, but they're like, but what'll so-and-so think, what'll my brothers think, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, it's what works for you, and if you never try it, you're never going to know if it doesn't work for you.